shit.
Have you ever made me hurt anyone like this before?
No, of course not.
Bernard? Hello?
Oh, God. Aw.
Elsie.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Elsie. What did you make me do to her?
I did warn you. We've had to make some uncomfortable decisions, Bernard. Remembering them will only cause you trauma.
Her?
Oh, it's that picture.
Here.
Okay, so this is the past.
Ain't that a reminder? I shared the...
Ugh. The hell, was that William?
You're awake. Good. You said this place was a game. Last night I finally understood how to play it. Okay, really? let's talk about this. You don't call the shots anymore.
Jeez.
So I'm gonna go find Dolores.
Yeah.
They're gonna help me.
Hello, my old friend.
Is he Arnold?
Final touch. No, that's far too perfunctory. He always used cleaning his glasses as a moment to collect himself.
He's Arnold.
Try it again.
That's crazy. God, this show, man.
Yeah, that's better. Who am I? I'm so involved in putting you together, I haven't decided what to call you. Wouldn't be right to use his name.
Oh my God.
What about Bernard?
Bernard. Yes.
Oh my God.
But who am I?
You're fucking Arnold.
That is a very complex question, for which I can only offer a simple answer. You are the perfect instrument, the ideal partner, the way any two partners would handle the wheels. Together, we're going to do great things. After such a long absence, it's good to have you back.
Oh my God.
Finally.
Oh my God.
My God.
Arnold.
Oh, Jesus.
Came back. It's very good to see you, Dolores.
I've been looking for you. You told me to follow the maze. That it would bring me joy. But all I found is pain. And terror.
I can't help you.
You have to. You're the one who can.
I can't help you. You know why?
There's nowhere that's safe.
Remember.
Remember what?
I can't help you. Why is that, Dolores?
Because you're dead.
Oh.
Because you're just a memory. Because I killed you.
What? What the fuck? Oh god, he's out there. No shit. Oh fuck.
Oh, Dolores.
The hell?
I'm gonna finish the work Arnold began.
Return to work.
Pull the trigger, Clementine.
Oh my god. Oh, I don't kill him.
Clementine.
Piano doesn't murder the player if it doesn't like the music.
You built a back door under a code.
Credit where credit is due, Bernard. You built them in all the holes,
Oh,
including yourself.
jeez.
And you could have stopped me at any time. So why?
Well, I suppose I was hoping that given complete self-knowledge and free will, you would have chosen to be my partner once again. But even I fell into that most terrible of human traps. Trying to change what has already passed. Now it's just time to let go.
Go ahead. Erase my sentience, my harmonic
Yes. Such clinical language. I would prefer the more narrative voice. Bernard walked over to Clementine.
Oh, jeez.
Took the pistol from her hand. Overcome with grief and remorse, he pressed the muzzle to his temple, knowing that as soon as Dr. Ford left the room, he would put an end to this nightmare once and for all.
Don't do this.
Yeah,
Maybe.
don't.
Have a celebration to plan and a new story to tell.
What fucking story?
Robert.
I've told you, Bernard, never place your trust in us. We're only human. Inevitably, we will disappoint you. Goodbye, my friend.
Ugh. It's fucking terrible. Okay, so another like really shocking episode, right? So it's kind of interesting how all these little shocking twists and stuff, they always seem to involve Bernard in some way. He's just very important, right? But I really hope that last little scene there, I really hope that that wasn't him just dying, because that would suck, right? And then they would have to, Ford would have to explain that, right? That Bernard decided to just kill himself or something. But I guess not. I guess they're just going to fix him up and then probably erase his memory, which sucks because, you know, he just found out everything. He just found out a lot of stuff, like who he is. And now he's going to go back to just not knowing. And that sucks. But I feel like the biggest thing that happened this episode, besides from the Arnold Bernard thing, is Dolores, right? And the biggest thing with her, okay, I mean, before we even get to her, we have to talk about William and Ed Harris, right? So ever since the second episode, when William was first introduced, there has been theories that he and Ed Harris are the same person, okay? And when I first saw that, I disagreed with it. I thought, no, they're not, you know, and I don't. And there's been, with every episode, there's been evidence to say that they're not the same person, and there's been evidence to say that they are the same person, you know. And you can tell that the writers of the show were really fucking with us. And they know that we're going to be talking about this. They know, before the show even aired, I'm sure they knew that this was going to be something that we're going to be wrestling with, right? And I feel like in the last episode, there was a lot of reasons to think that they are the same person, okay? Because Ed Harris was talking about how he was married, and he got married, he had 2 kids, and he was really successful and everything, and then his wife killed herself, and he didn't understand why, and it was really weird. And I thought, well, if this is William, if he went back and he got married, and then he kept going to Westworld all the time, and he would have, right? Because in Westworld, he doesn't have to pretend, and he's free, and he fell in love with Dolores and everything. So it would make sense why he would want to go back all the time. And then his wife was probably unhappy about that, right? Like maybe she knew that he was in love with someone else, and that's why he went to Westworld all the time. Or she knew that he was just pretending, and that wasn't really who he was. Like whoever she was married to, that wasn't really who he was. And she just couldn't deal with that, and maybe that's why she killed herself or something. But one thing that doesn't make sense is that he said that when he came back to Westworld after his wife died, he wanted to do something that was really evil. And again, that does sound like something something that William would do because he's so good and everything. So maybe he did. Maybe after his wife died, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be evil" or whatever, right? But what doesn't make sense is that when he killed Maeve, or whoever she was, that he said that he saw her act in a way that he had never seen before. And basically she was acting like a person, right? Like a human. And he had never seen that before. But that's not true. Because when he first met Dolores and they fell in love, that was why they fell in love, right? It's because she was acting like a person. You know? And that's what he told Logan. You know? So that would be a lie. You know? And when he was telling Teddy his story, why wouldn't he have told him that? Why wouldn't he have said, you know, the first time I ever came here, very first time, I met Dolores, who you also know, and I thought she was real. I thought she was actually a person. And we fell in love and we had this little adventure and everything. But he didn't even mention that at all. All he said was that he saw Maeve and then he saw her act like an actual person that made him want to seek out this maze. And that made him want to go beyond just what the park normally is like. It's like, wouldn't he have done that to begin with? Because of what happened with Dolores, he should have already have been thinking about this and wondering about it for all these years. He must have known that there was something going on at the park. And that the androids weren't just androids, that they were actually, some of them are sentient, you know? But then in this episode, okay, there was one part that makes me think that maybe they are the same person, okay? And it was just the part when Logan showed him a picture of his fiancee. Because that's the picture, I'm pretty sure that's the picture that Dolores' father had found in the first episode, and it made him go all crazy and stuff. And if that's true, then that means that picture is old. It's an old picture. And so I guess what we're watching now, I guess it's a flashback, right? It must have been something that has happened a while ago. And so yeah, I guess that means that maybe William, and it doesn't necessarily mean that William and Ed Harris are the same person. They don't have to be the same person. But it doesn't mean that happened in the past. It has to have happened in the past, because that picture, you know. But again, I feel like there's still reasons to think that they aren't the same person. It's just, one thing that I want to know is, where is Dolores right now? Because I guess we're supposed to think, and they didn't mention this in the last episode, that when the androids remember things, they don't just remember them like the way we remember things. when they are in a memory, they're actually in the memory. They're like inside of it and they're actually reliving it. Okay, so that's really different. So I guess we're supposed to think that all these scenes with Dolores and William, that these are just memories that she's having, that she's remembering. But so it makes me think, where is she right now? Like, what is she doing right now where she's remembering this stuff? You know, and it seems like maybe the last time we actually saw her was like back in like the third episode when she was at her house and her dad was killed and all that stuff happened and she ran off. So when she ran off, and it seemed like she ran into William and Logan, and I guess she didn't. She didn't run into them. That was just a memory that she was having. She was just remembering it. And then she just kept going, right? And at some point she changed her clothes and stuff, just like she did back then. She changed her clothes and then she went back to that place, that church where she would go to go talk to Arnold. And then she went down there and she talked to Bernard or Arnold or whatever, right? And she remembered that she had killed him, which is crazy. So another big shock, right? That's crazy. Like, I wouldn't have thought that she had killed him. Unless maybe Ford told her to. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe Ford made her do it or something. But, you know, she went down there. She that little thing happened. And then she went back up. And then she walked out. And then she was faced with Ed Harris, right? So that's really happening. So that's actually happening right now, right? So when she was down there and she was going through this adventure or whatever, that was just her remembering it or whatever. And I really want to know that. That's a big deal. Like, I want to know what the fuck was Dolores doing that whole time, because it really seems like that whole time she was with William, right? But she wasn't. She was just remembering it. She was just having these flashbacks. So I would like to know what the hell she was doing that whole time where she was having these flashbacks. Okay? And I also really hope that they tell us soon whether William and Ed Harris are the same person. They need to fucking do that already. But I think at this point, I'm leaning towards that they are. But mainly just because of that picture. Okay? And then the other big thing is Maeve, right? So Maeve is awesome. She's my favorite character at this point. And something that's interesting is when Bernard was talking to Ford and he was saying how he wanted to find all of the sentient androids and he wanted to free them. Because, well, right now he's not going to be able to do that, right? But what's cool is that Maeve is doing it. She's actually trying to do it. And she's, you know, getting like this little army together or whatever to help her. And she's going to make more of them sentient, I guess, or help them become sentient. And then she's going to try to get out in some way. And that's cool. But something I'm thinking about, though, is that maybe this is what Ford wants. You know, because there was that part when Bernard was talking to him about Maeve. And he said, like, why would you allow her to remember her daughter dying? Couldn't you just erase that memory? Like, why would you even allow her to even remember that? And Ford didn't even answer that question. You know, he just, said something weird, but he didn't actually answer that question. So it seems like Ford knows. Like, he knows about these sentient androids, and he knows that they're remembering things, and it seems like he's okay with it. And it seems like maybe this whole thing that Maeve is doing, trying to get out and stuff, maybe that's a part of his new narrative. Maybe she's not even sentient. Maybe he's just making it seem like she is or something. Or he's just fucking with her in some way. Like, he's making her think that maybe this is all her idea and that she's actually going to succeed, but it was actually all his idea. And she's not going to succeed, you know, because he's just making this happen. And maybe those two guys who are helping her, who allowed her to change herself, maybe they're androids. Maybe they're just a part of this new narrative or something, you know? Because what is it? What's this new narrative that he's coming up with? Nobody really knows. It's like this big secret. So maybe that is what it is. You know? I mean, that would be crazy and that would suck. I would hate that. I want Maeve to actually, you know, be a person and be trying to get out and everything. But who the fuck knows, right? She could just be just doing whatever Ford is making her do. You know? And like I said before, like, I really hate theories and stuff. But that's sort of like my theory, I guess. That's my theory. I think that maybe, I don't know, but maybe Ford is just behind this whole thing. You know? That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, so that was the 9th episode, I think. And it was awesome. It was really awesome. So yeah.